Welcome back to the Planet Paintball podcast, brought to you by 1023 Sportswear and Southwest Paintball in Bayfield, Colorado. Go say hi to John and the boys. It's your favorite type of episode, a bunch of grumpy old men. I got B with me right now. Josh Connelly's going to be jumping in the chat a little bit later. Maybe some more guests, who knows? Well, B, what's going on, man?
I'm sore as shit. I finally got to play paintball for once 2 days ago, and my calves and my hamstrings are still making me pay for it.
Still rough.
Yep. Hadn't had a day like that in probably 3 years.
Yeah. Getting back on the horse. People be ready. Sexy police coming to violate you.
Yep. Full cavity searches are in the future.
Free to certain individuals at events
Yep.
near you soon.
Lube is optional. Sponsored by Dye. Hope you weren't
So let's
working that sponsorship.
Nope. Hey, yeah, we're rocking some new gear, Thank you. And shout out to Don and Filthy crew. Send a little thing to me. So I appreciate it.
Didn't they D4 won the event?
Yeah, they won D4 and D5 and
WNXL was doing anything this event.
So they did some 5-man stuff, like they call it amateur 5-man.
Gotcha.
But like the pro WNXL league did not play.
Okay.
Which is going to bring me to my first gripe. I want a semi-pro webcast, period. Love having the girls on there, but I wish like the next pro team is coming out of that division.
Yeah, and you
don't get to watch them. It's bullshit.
No, it seems like Blast Camp has a pretty commanding lead right now.
Yep. Two events in, 2 wins, and I don't believe anyone else around them has, like, there's not someone who's gotten like a second and a third around them. So the gap is pretty large right now. Definitely not safe territory yet, right? 2 more events plus World Cup, which counts as double. So we're a third of the way through. Way too early to call it for sure. They're the favorites. So what do you think about Blast Camp re-entering as a semi-pro team?
Actually, that's not a gripe for me due to the structure of the league now.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do that. They have to re-earn their spot. Not sure what the details were behind them selling their spot to who was it? Royal City? Sea Dogs?
Yeah, I think the Sea Dogs bought their spot 2 years ago, right?
And not sure if they had an opportunity to buy one of the 2 spots that sold, or I guess 3 spots sold last year, technically.
Let's see.
Because Revo technically sold, or Arsenal sold, technically.
Yeah, sold/merged.
Yeah.
But FSU Tauntauns sold their spot. Tauntauns went and have taken the Arsenal spot in that sell/merger. So the FSU spot, that's one spot that was sold off. Heat just changed hands, so the spot really didn't sell. Who else called it quits?
Oh, no, Collision bought their spot. Wildside bought their spot.
Collision bought a spot, and Wildside Distortion bought a spot. I just can't remember who they bought it from.
But anyways, either they didn't have the opportunity to buy a spot, or they said, screw it, we'll bet on ourselves and play for our spot. And
so if you're in that position and you're surrounded by all your pro buddies or former pro buddies, are you buying the spot or saying, screw it? That's awesome. Saying, screw it, we're earning the spot.
I'm saving my money.
Okay.
Yeah. I call it sandbagging, but they're playing by how the
They're
NXL.
playing by the rules.
Yep.
I mean, 3 of those guys went to Heat, right? The others went and played for Wildside Distortion. That is what it is.
You can make an argument this year semi-pro is probably a little more open. It's probably the best way to say it. I feel like it's not as top heavy as it has been in the last post-COVID years, in my opinion.
Okay.
And just because you don't have the powerhouses that were Fit.
Mm-hmm.
Fit Notorious. Oh, Blast Camp, it's back.
Yeah, I think people don't give them the credit that's due, right? Because they got second to Fit all year long, but like they still got second all year long, which is hard to fucking do.
To a team that ended up winning Cup their first year back in pro.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to say Blast Camp, their first year pro, was they ended up finishing like middle of the pack, right?
I think they were like 15th-ish. So yeah,
Okay,
middle
so
50.
bottom of the middle
Yeah.
of the pack. So, and that is what that is. You know, it's got to be frustrating for Wrecking Crew because I think a lot of people thought, you know, with everyone that had left and before Blast Camp came in, probably Wrecking Crew's year.
Well, everybody thought it was Wrecking Crew's year last year too.
That's true. I mean, I would have put money on Wrecking Crew, Jesters, or P-Mob.
Yeah.
Before.
P-Mob is just so inconsistent.
Yeah, they're kind of the definition of inconsistency, aren't they?
Yeah.
So and that's the other thing I hate about not having the webcast. Like you only get the scores. So it's hard to like you can only tell a little bit from a game from the scores. Can't tell how close it really was. And we got Josh popping in.
Mr.
What's happening?
I just got done with the skin doodles.
Nice.
Yeah, always fun. So what y'all been talking about?
We ain't got that far into it. We've been talking about Blast Camp. Any thoughts?
The only thought I have on Blast Camp really, man, is like, what's this going to do to the semi-pro division if they just drop down and beat the crap out of everybody for 5 straight events? Like, how long is it going to take the pro teams that are in the bottom, let's say the bottom 7, to start just snatching those semi-pro teams apart, and those guys that would have stayed with their semi-pro squad, now they're going to jump ship and go to a pro team because they know they're not going to win a semi-pro event all year because Blast Camp's just going to beat up on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's valid.
I mean, it definitely could weaken some semi-pro teams. We've actually already seen that.
Yeah.
Wrecking Crew lost a player to New York Extreme right after this event.
Well, that
that worked out well for him.
Yeah, it's like jumping on a ship with a hole in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You better have a big ass bucket.
Yeah, I don't think LJ Woodley is going to cut it. I don't think that's going to be the difference maker they needed.
So I didn't look at the scores, but did they do just as bad as event 1?
They got last place.
They got less points and they didn't win a match. They went 0-4 at this one.
Okay. So Josh, predictions on New York Extreme, do they get it together or not?
Dude, honestly, I think those bottom 3 teams are going to kind of stay where they're at.
Okay.
I think everybody kind of expects NYX. No offense to those dudes, because some of them are actually like nice guys.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody kind of expects NYX to be in the bottom at the end of the season. Like you got relegated, you bought your spot back, and you barely escaped relegation last year. I think if it hadn't been for Energy Elite, they would have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which, if you want to talk about teams that had a horrible showing, I know you said you hadn't looked at the scores. Houston Heat looked like painful to watch.
Yeah, I can't remember them ever going 0-4.
They finished 19th.
Yeah. Not a pretty day for them at all. Which puts them in the relegation talk, right? If you're looking at the bottom 4 as the ones who can really in danger of relegation, you're looking at Heat, Aftershock, Distortion, and New York Extreme right now.
Yeah, I think their first event performance, I think they did well enough, like that 13th place may be enough to keep them out of the relegation talks, but so they're going to have to make a Sunday. Like there's not going to be any big shakeups on those 12 teams that are making it through every weekend. So they're going to have to do something to break into that top 10 or 12 to guarantee they're not going to go home I think they would just cease to exist. I think if Heat gets relegated and NYX gets relegated, I think that's the end of both of those programs.
Mm-hmm.
I think NYX has been relegated before, but that's when Harris bottom.
Yeah. I think they definitely, the NXL is making all these moves to make the league better. They need to make it a point where if your squad gets relegated as a team owner, you can't just turn around and buy another spot. Like you're not getting anything new into the league that way. It's still the same bottom tier players are still in the bottom tier of the pro league. At least if they let them stay relegated, we could see some new semi-pro guys get a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what I would like the NXL to do is if a franchise wants to sell a spot, put in the stipulations that you have to give first right of refusal to the highest ranking semi-pro team that didn't earn their spot.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't really think you should be able to buy a pro spot. That like the Jungle Cats are a prime example of this right now. Like Jungle Cats came in, they earned their spot. They're sitting 14th overall after the second event. They've already won 2 matches in their first season as a pro team, which is a big step up from what most teams do their virgin year in the pro division. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily perform as well as the Jungle Cats have. But then you look at wild side distortion. You have the opposite end of what happens when teams buy a spot into the pro division. And, no offense to those, because I don't know any of them personally, but they're in the position they're in because of blast count. All the
Yeah.
pro players that they had that were helping them win in semi-pro wanted to go play with their boys, and they had been out of pro long enough they could do it. I just don't think they should be able to just buy in. I think they should have to meet certain requirements, maybe even like test matches against pro teams. Like if you're just going to come in here and just get mollywopped by Leverage, who's a good team, like they're getting better, but they're still in
Hmm.
the bottom half of the league, if they're just going to stomp you every time you step on the field, maybe you didn't need to buy a pro spot, but that's just personal opinion because, there's always got to be somebody in last place.
Yeah. That's how it works, right?
So we want to jump into the Tampa event and
Sure.
talk
Let's
about
jump
the
into Tampa. What's your take on Tampa?
grumpy old men in paintball talk that we discussed having.
Yep.
I just finished watching Sunday today. I was in Tennessee all weekend shooting a total archery challenge event. So I didn't get signal worth of shit to actually listen to the games. So I got to watch the pro finals today, and never have I not given more of a shit who won an event than I did when Tampa Bay and Impact played in the finals. That's like watching the Yankees and what's the
Gotcha.
Yankees and the Lakers both playing for the championship in the same day. Like who gives a shit who wins? Especially with Mouse's attitude at the whole event. I was just
Yeah.
watching to hopefully see somebody smack it.
So yeah,
Sergey
I want to
tried.
touch on that because he's getting worse. Like he was bad
Steroids.
on Diesel, and I thought it was I am frustrated because I'm not on a performing team. But you're on a team that's performing, and you're running your mouth, and I don't think it's a good look for the league. Unless we're gonna go like, hey, we want the 25 to 35-year-old demographic that's gonna like this, but like that's not gonna get that that kind of behavior is not in line with get us on TV or get us on a big streaming platform.
I'm right in the middle of that demographic. Grow the fuck up, dude.
So
Seriously,
here's
what are you trying to prove to anybody? Yeah, you're a great paintball player. I think you're a little bit overrated, but dude, you've been in the league long enough. Don't be an ass.
well, the thing with it is too, man, like the whole thing that went down with him and the Russians on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
that point was over. You didn't win that fucking point because you won that point. You didn't shoot all 5 Russian players. You won that point because the ref said that he didn't make it in time. And if you watch that, you won that point by fractions of a. And this is the comment I made to somebody. They were like, "Oh, yeah, he ran his mouth till Sturgeon walked over there." You also notice he didn't open his mouth at all to Baridnikov. Like
Mm-hmm.
Malloy, Sturgeon looks like he would fight a bear. Malloy looks like he already has. Like, I think it's an unprofessional look. I think it's great that he's got some passion. I think you have to keep in mind the optics. Like you're running your mouth at dudes that are supposed to be your peers. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's supposed to be a certain amount of respect in the professional division because you're all supposed to be at the top of your game. But then you got this dude who's just like chirping at everybody, running his mouth, and like not just talking trash, like verbally assaulting. And there's a very clear line in that rule book that says like, verbally abusing another player is grounds for ejection. So everybody always wants to bitch about the refs not doing their job on calls. There's a big one. He should be ejected and he should be facing suspension over this according to the NXL rule. Now, will it happen? Definitely not. They're not going to do shit to Mouse because it's Mouse and it's Tampa Bay Damage. And if they do, they're going to have to hear Joey Blute's fucking mouth. And I don't blame Joey. Joey's got to have his players back.
Right.
But Damage is going to come to a point with Mouse's attitude. I feel like, once again, this is just optics. looking at it from the sport we're trying to sell to ESPN now, you're gonna have a guy running up to a team that he just beat, talking shit and getting nose to nose with people, and we're supposed to just think that's gonna be okay. Like the
Mm-hmm.
ESPN's not gonna go for that. Like that, it happens during NFL games during mic'd up moments, but they have commentators that cut over it, and they have an event crew that can cut the mic. We
Yeah.
can't get away. We can't do that yet. So either you don't let him do it and push the ESPN deal, or you're just going to let players continue to act like that, and it's going to set a bad standard, and everybody's going to start acting.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, B, you got anything to add? I don't got anything to add to that. That sums that up.
Yeah, that's a pretty good synopsis. Definitely gave me some headhunting. People already knew that you could get under Mouse's skin.
Well, that's a lot of the pro league is trying that shit this year. Like, you want to talk about attitudes, bring up fit.
Mm-hmm.
They literally overshot, and I'm 41. I come from the old school. Like, you didn't say you got overshot, you got shot.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, they're playing like fucking bullies. Like, they want to put it on everybody, but as soon as you put an extra couple on any of them, they want to throw their hands up and beg for penalties. The league's gonna have to take a stance on it. Like, either let it happen and let the flopping, selling shit happen like that, or go back to the absolutely no talking after your shot and start throwing minors for it.
Well, and I thought that was still the rule. No talking after your shot.
Dude, technically, it should have been a gross major when Mouse ran over there running his mouth at the ref, because he was a dead player. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're still waiting on the final ruling on the call, so the game hasn't ended yet. So everybody from Tampa should have been off the field anyway.
Yeah.
But they're getting lax on that again for whatever reason. I'm not sure why they're moving away from it, because you remember when Archie was playing with Dynasty, my God, it seemed like every match he would get like 2 or 3 minors for talking after he got shot, trying to beg for a penalty.
Yeah.
And now they just stop. They just let him do whatever.
Well, yeah, it sways back and forth every couple years, but like I think it's time to clamp back down on it. So, and it's never really been a big issue that I can remember in Europe, where like here for the longest time we got one word, right? But Europe you got nothing. And it
Mhm.
was never an issue there. And some of the same dudes play here and there. So, figured if you're going to enforce the rule, they're going to follow the rule. So it's an enforcement issue at this point.
Well, I think it's the difference in a European player base versus an entitled ass American player base. Like, some of these dudes forget that paintball is such a niche sport, and they think because they win a tournament on Sunday, that it's like they forget they've got to go back to their normal 9 to 5 on Monday and pretend they were a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, almost beat this other dude up on the pro field. He's half my size, doesn't go to the gym, and probably doesn't do steroids. But fuck that guy. I was cool, bro. And I'm not even a big J-Rab fan, but I will say this much. That dude has always been big about respect. Like, he tried to fight Oliver Lang one time because he spit in his hand or something before he shook Bart's hand at an event. Like,
Holy shit.
J-Rab's big about respect.
Yeah.
And for him, when I heard that on the webcast, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Here it
Mm-hmm.
comes. We're going to finally get that fight.
If something is not done about it, it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
maybe we should start taking bets.
Or somebody's going to be smart. Like, what's going to happen is there's going to be, I don't know if you remember this or not, but you remember Rainey tricked his ass and got him suspended one time for headbutting
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And what it's going to take is either somebody's going to have enough and somebody's going to have to, like, it's going to get physical on the field. I don't want to say somebody's going to have to put Mouse in his place, because the Mouse is a grown man playing the game how he feels is best for his mental shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs some therapy. But either somebody's going to put their hands on him and it's going to turn into a physical thing and the whole sport's going to get set back, or somebody's going to get a little bit of a leash on the situation. I don't think Damage can keep allowing that to happen, because eventually the league's going to have to start throwing penalties on them or doing something.
Yeah. Well, and so they aren't throwing penalties on that, but they gave Joey from the Jungle Cats a timeout for headhunting.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't agree with that penalty at all. But also, we're talking about the negative things from Tampa so far. Shout out to Evan from the Jungle Cats.
Hell
Because
yeah.
we've all played with and against that dude several times over the last few years, and we all knew he was going to end up going pro. But second pro event, my homie was tied for, I think it was 9th or 19th
Mm-hmm.
with 20 kills and confirmed kills in the prelims. Now
Yeah.
they didn't have the showing they wanted at that event, but I was talking to, I think it was Hanson. If the 2 games they lost in overtime had gone the other way, either one of them, they would have squeaked into Sunday as the wild.
Yeah. Which
That's
is,
what I was going to bring up about Tampa is this new, the no margin system is going to make things super entertaining on Sundays now. Like Saturday after that last match on Saturday is going to have meaning. It's not just going to be like, who else is going to make it on? Now it's like, oh crap, if this team doesn't win by this many points, this team moves on and this team does it. And it's not even the team that's playing.
yeah.
That was great. Like to see the uprising guys rooting Impact on to get
Mm-hmm.
the 6 points or the Russians. They just needed the Russians to get 6 points. And they were in the pitch cheering them on. I'm like, that's what you want to see. Like teams that get invested in the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, big up to the league for that move. So let's talk about some of the structural changes they've done to the game since we're kind of already on it. So it's no longer point margin. It is points scored that move you up and down when you're tied, right? And then 5 pods. And those are kind of the big changes to the format in the pro division this year. So,
And the field layouts. Like we're 2 events back to back where Jason Trojan has given us fast, entertaining. This one was a little bit more chaotic than I feel like Tampa was. Like it felt like there was just shit going on everywhere. Like if you're watching the
mhm.
snake too closely, you're going to get blown up on the D side. But we've had 2 really aggressive field layouts that have helped with with the new structural changes you were just talking about.
Well, and that snake gave us a lot of highlight reels this time. There were a lot of dudes who were able to go and get 2 packs out of that snake. A couple got 3. I think someone got a 4-pack. They're like, that was primo. That's what we wanted, right? Fast, aggressive, shove it in your face paintball.
I think this event was honestly the layout was more balanced. We got a good dose. I saw several players, talking about Evan. Saw Evan pull a couple different 3-packs off of that Dorito side just from being a bully, like
Yeah.
just coming out, posting, refusing to go in, and then as soon as he tucked one, go. I saw Lackey do the same thing a couple times. Like there were definitely moves to be made on both sides of this layout, and it was really fun to watch. And there was just a lot going on all over.
Yeah. Yeah. And to loop back in on Evan, like for him to get picked up by a new pro team and then be getting the spins he's getting, like, bravo, man.
And he didn't just like get a phone call like, hey man, we've heard about you, we want you to come play. He went to the tryouts and earned his spot. Like that
Mm-hmm.
kid has become a staple in their starting 5, and it's really fun to watch him play. I was just really excited to see him perform so well on the Doritos side, especially, and get that many confirmed kills, because that's a young squad in pro league. Like those guys all have time in the game, but they're playing some good paintball for their first pro season.
And then Lackey, hearing his name nonstop. Obviously, Shock's not doing, I think, what any old school guy wants Shock to do.
Well,
But
they are.
Lackey's getting his name called a lot.
You say they're not winning, like they're not getting the results that old school shop fans like us expect by any stretch. But if you look at the first event to this event, that team made some big steps forward. They won a match. That's the first step. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
shit event, you go 0-4. Like, by the end of the day, if you're having a bad day, you've lost, like, screw it. Let's just win this match. Like, let's just not go home getting skunked. And they're playing aggressive as shit. Like, Todd's not taking his foot off the gas with those play calls. Like, Todd Adamson is definitely making them play in your face paintball. I think Hosky kind of screwed him up on this, and he just had a hard time staying alive in that snake. This wasn't really a good snake for him to be super effective, I don't think. There were just too many random shots from across the field.
Mm-hmm.
And he struggled to stay alive, and I think that hurt him a lot. But they're playing aggressive. They're doing the right thing. They didn't lose anybody going into the event. I don't think they're going to lose anybody after this event.
Well,
So
they
they should
lost
at least
Jesse
have the same.
Stevens.
Well, I think that was an internal decision. I don't think he just left. I think that was
Okay,
a
fair
decision
enough.
made. But it's one of those things, you notice you didn't see him get a lot of spins for the Ironman this weekend either.
Nope. They had the best weekend they've had in a long time, too.
Shit, since 2020.
Yeah. Or since they
Which,
won that random minor event or came in second.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right about that. I forgot
Yeah.
about when they had the minors, the blind layout event.
Yeah, they got second that, and then what was it, Atlantic City they got third in?
Yeah, they had a good
Either that
event
or
there.
Texas.
They've had random sporadic ones. I think they're the key to the success on this one. You know, y'all tell me what y'all think. I feel like picking up CJ Cantor from Damage was, I don't want to say it was the missing piece, but it kind of was. Not to bring back like a full five, but if you haven't been watching long, NYX and Baltimore Remo had this little like friendly rivalry. All of those dudes that are now comprised, like making up that Ironman roster, come from that group. Like CJ Cancer, Pat Kraft. I think Geiger might have actually been on Revo at the time, but like
Yeah,
4 out of those 5 dudes were part of that NYX Revo beat where they had the unicorn rainbow jersey
jerseys.
vet.
Yeah,
So like they don't have time playing with each other, but those dudes have God knows how many spins against each other over the years, and they gelled really well this weekend.
yeah,
Caleb Abel played phenomenal in the snake all weekend. Like that kid just continues to show that he just wasn't being utilized correctly at some of his past teams. But the Ironmen step up. They get a group together that plays well together, and they start putting up results. So it was nice to see them back in contention for Sunday.
yeah, yeah. It's those legacy franchise teams. I think Ironman's the oldest one at this point that's consistently been pro, right? Like Shock
Yeah,
came back after being relegated, and being gone for a couple years, and then it's the Ironman. Like the
I think
Ironmen
the
are the
Ironmen
longest
are the
standing
only one
pro.
that haven't been relegated. I don't
Yeah,
think they've ever dropped down because Dynasty got relegated when we had the champs and champions, or the challengers and
yeah.
champions division. Aftershock got relegated once or twice that season. So
Hmm.
I mean, I think Ironman might be the longest running like legitimate only pro team. They've never been knocked down. They've never played semi-pro for a year or anything like that. So yeah, you're definitely right on that one. It does suck to see those old names sitting at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, but so I guess the question is like, how much longer do you think these legacy teams have? Like the
Well, the
Ironman.
Ironmen, they'll be around as long as Guy wants to have a factory team.
Hmm.
Like they've had multiple seasons where any other team owner would have cut the plug, would have been like, "Nah, we're done. I'm not paying for this anymore." But they're Guy's team. Like if
Yeah,
Guy drops their team, then they're down to what, three representation, two representations. They
I
got
think it's
what,
just
the
them and
Legion,
Russians right
and
now, right?
I mean, after seeing, did anybody else catch the tank check disintegrated MXR this weekend?
Yeah, Jesus.
I was working on my MXR earlier, and I was like, I want to tighten that down a little bit.
Dude, that's a little ass kid, or a little dude. I mean, Hara's tiny, and he took that tank check like a G.
Oh, he
I
did.
mean,
He did. He
him
kept
looking at
going.
the ref, going,
He's looking at like, am I still in? What do I do here?
"I'm not going to be much good, but you know, everybody's looking this way now."
It's like a little flashbang going off there.
Yeah.
So scary too. And then like the injuries this weekend were with Jacob Edwards getting hurt the way he did with his
Hmm.
hip injury. Zach Payson break his hand in practice before the event started.
I thought that was during the 3-man.
Was it during the three
I
man?
think it
I
was
thought
during
it
the
was.
3-man when he broke it.
I know
There's
they
some
had to
film on it.
swap out his. They had to swap out, and Trevor Reeser was his stand-in for the All Star game.
Yeah.
Which
So,
that was it was a good event though, man. Like we got the Jungle Cats covered. They had a good showing. I didn't really watch a lot of the Wild Side Distortion games, to be honest. Like I checked their scores. They looked like
hmm,
they just had a bad event. I enjoyed watching the Sea Dogs play. They didn't have a great event, but they had fun games.
yeah. They always have fun games, I feel like. I don't go out of my way to watch them, but I always enjoy their games.
Yeah,
They were
if
definitely
they're playing.
I
And
know.
they,
Go ahead.
Bico.
Okay. They were definitely a team that I thought was going to get relegated when they bought their spot, and I have been pleasantly surprised. They they do play somewhat of a fast brand of paintball, and it is fun to watch. I never go out of the way to see them, but whenever they're doing a split deck with a game that I want to watch, I usually do tune in for it.
honestly, the team, they're one of those teams that like when they pop up, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be a blowout. Like you don't see them get shut out very often. Like they always make it entertaining at the very least. Did any of y'all also catch the tauntauns being picked on a little bit by the replay system? Not picked on, but they got fucking caught.
No, I didn't.
So,
So Infamous apparently was raising hell about one of the French players leaving the box early consistently.
Yeah.
And so the head ref, you could hear it on the film. The head ref's like, "Hey, watch him, blah blah blah. He's leaving early." And sure enough, they pull him the next point. He's leaving like his gun's up before the horn even finishes like fully starting.
Yeah.
And Infamous was like, "Dude, we're getting blasted off the break every point. This isn't like he's leaving early." They finally caught him with it. I'm like, just wait. Next, they'll get caught with guns that are shooting like 370.
That's a throwback.
Well, I mean, they like every player pushes the line, but you know, the Tauntauns always have this attitude when they get caught pushing it. Like we all play the gray area. All of us have played on when we've had a hit. All of us have wiped a hit. If you haven't, good for you.
If you haven't, you're
But
probably
you're
lying.
I mean, I played with a board that was illegal as shit for years. Like I 100% admit it. There's a statute of limitations. Larry Motes isn't going to show up at my house and like choke slam me through a table for it now. But like the limit was 15. I was shooting 17 and a half. Most refs couldn't hear the difference, but you could tell the difference in your lane. It was just what you do. But like the French dudes always get pissy when they get caught. Like they still get upset. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, we get it. You're trying to get that edge, but when you get caught pushing it, you just got to take it. Like, take the penalty. Don't do it again. Don't whine about it. But instead, they ran straight to the ref. Like, you could hear their coach yelling at the head ref through the net, like, "You're picking on my guy." Like, no, he's not. You got told that he was cheating.
Well, that's the thing, though. Every time they get caught, it's you're picking on us because we aren't Americans.
Well, stop taking over and doing mergers with fucking American teams and then having
So,
them fold the season after, and we'll stop picking on you.
damn
Like
colonizers.
right, dude. There's two American dudes on that Arsenal team. Right? There that's it. It's
I think Benny's the
Saucedo,
only one playing, actually. I don't even think Brett's on the roster.
and Benny's only getting spins when they're either super far ahead or when they're getting their ass beat. It's like, oh, we're down 5-0. Send out the American. It's fine.
And honestly, like, Benny's not a bad player. I just think, like, the French want to win with the French players, period.
Well, I mean, they proved last year they can almost do it.
Yeah. I mean, this year's not going so hot with the 10th and the 8th so far, but, that
No, but
doesn't mean they
it's
won't have a
another
showing.
rebuilding. Well, they
Yeah.
also lost Fedorov, and they didn't pick up any. They picked up, what was the guy's name? Spitzma. He's a new one,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
That's also the guy that I think was leaving early too, but they picked him up. I mean, they're in the middle of the pack. Like they're not winning, but they're in contention.
But yeah,
They're
no,
making
I
it
mean,
Sunday.
it's not, 8th, they're sitting 8th overall right now. Like, it's not unheard of for an 8th place team to go up and win it. Like, you
Damage
can't
just
count
did
them
it.
out, that's for sure.
I think that's exactly what Damage just did, was 8th to 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah,
it's definitely
Damage was in
doable.
8th, and then they got first at this event.
So we talked about the team that won. I think let's talk about teams that are going to struggle or are struggling with this new format and the new rule changes and the new field layout. Fifth is like they got third at Tampa,
Yep.
and that's a great showing for most teams. But then this event, they did not look nearly as dominant
They
gun
still got
wise
fourth,
as they have.
though.
They did, but they're not winning the way they used to win. Like it's hard to explain. Like last year when they won, they beat the shit out of everybody. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
always G2 off the break. Now they're winning they're winning later on in the points sometimes, I feel like. Like they're
Yeah.
not winning off the break anymore because they're not able to keep five bodies alive as easily as they were last year. And not because Colt's back. It's just the change in this game with the limited paint and the new field layouts. It's requiring more mobility, and their team is not a fast team off the break. Like they've got Chavez, but that's like the only like player they have that I would legitimately call a fast player.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and
And
they can't rely on walking down the field. Damage has done a good job at changing their brand. I think it also helps that you have Marcelo and Mouse on your team to push the issue.
Yeah,
well,
but
you got Marcelo, you got Mouse, you got Keith Brown,
Keith.
they got Brian Smith back, they got Chad. They got a lot of their speed back. And if you'll notice, now the only players they have sitting in those back three spots are like the OG Damage guys that have, like Jacob and Jason, are your anchor players now, and Marcelo. So you got those three across the back, and they have an interchangeable set of like fast ass dudes that can play Snake or Dorito very, very well.
Yeah.
What
Well, they
about-
got Sheer over there too. That's just been, and
Oh, let's forget
he
about
had
him.
some big bites this event.
This layout was I guess
There we go. No. Did someone call in? Okay. Hang on, because it says it's not recording for you. So we're gonna stop and then come right back in. You're good. And we're back. All right. So where were we?
talking about teams that were struggling with the format.
Yeah. So who else do you think's struggling with it?
Well, obviously NYX.
Well, they're going to struggle with any format.
So
Collision's doing pretty well with it with the jump to pro. They're not struggling like some of the teams are. And
yeah,
it's not necessarily struggling. I just think they're not getting the clean finishes that they normally do because of the difference in how the game's having to be played with that limited paint. They can't just sit there and dump 18 pods in one lane anymore.
Well, and Collision's been very consistent with each event so far. They looked really good at Cup. You know, if they had the Cup performance earlier in the year, they might have won the thing.
But
and
then
then
we
they
wouldn't have
added
the Jungle
weapons
Cats.
after the fact.
If they had done better, we wouldn't have the Jungle Cats.
That's true.
And if for anybody who didn't get to see Mike Bianca in the tracksuit, go back and watch.
That was hilarious.
Worth it. That is a man of his word. He wore that tracksuit and rocked.
He did. And he kept the gold chain for the next day, too.
I mean, that gold chain was pretty pimp. Like, I ain't even gonna lie.
Need a Jungle Cat jewelry line.
Don't put ideas in Hanson's head. Don't do it.
I want to see some
Hanson, I'm
eyes.
texting you as soon as I'm off this.
Because I'm pretty sure he was behind the original, might have been behind that original post of Bianca superimposed in a tracksuit.
He definitely was. That was penis all day.
The greatest acronym ever for a paintball page. Well, we got the lower part. We hit X Factor struggled at this event a little bit on towards the end.
Yeah.
But they were part of that deal where like they had to score a certain amount of points and win to move on. And I don't think they did. They hit either one. They had probably the best game against the Russians all weekend. Like the Damage game was good, but the X Factor Legion game was probably my favorite one to watch. I think it was X Factor and Legion. They had the big comeback that almost won. Or am I thinking Time Pod?
I feel like it was X Factor, but I didn't get to watch a lot of them. But I think I had it on in the background while I was doing something else. Guess I could pull
The Hurricanes. We haven't even touched on the.
haven't touched on the Hurricanes yet.
I think Fetty has had like a resurgence of his career. Maybe it has to do with the layout change.
I think it has to do with getting cut from Heat. Because he played pretty hard last year for the Tauntauns too. He had a good year last year for them, and won what was it, Dorito Player of the Year?
Yeah,
was that what he got?
I think so.
Which for those of us old enough to have chronic back pain, we remember when Fedorov was the blueprint for the Snake player.
Yeah,
to see him go win Player of the Year on the other side 20 years into his career is kind of awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, well, let's touch on the Hurricanes as a whole. I mean, that's been a big change for them. They have their practice facility and shit, which looks awesome. And that dude, the guy who bought Serial Killers in Hurricanes, I mean, he's going full in with this thing.
Has anybody heard any legitimate reviews of their paint from the event? Because he threw some shots before the event at a couple of the paint companies and had their private brand. I haven't heard anybody post a review about it yet.
I haven't heard from him in his posts that it went well, but I haven't
Yeah.
heard any teams post about it. So that's also kind of like interesting. Like you got a brand within a brand.
Yeah. But I mean, Dynasty has that too. You have GI, and then you have Dynasty Paint by GI. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
basically just like a black label GI paint is what they're kind of branding it as. But they played good. They didn't get the performance out of their team that they got in the first event.
Hmm.
But as far as like what they're doing, it seems to be working. They're definitely more consistent than they were as a team last year. They've got 2 Sundays on the books, and they definitely didn't get Sunday didn't go the way they wanted it to by any stretch. You know, you got to take the victories where you can get them, make
Hmm.
it on, and you're doing better than half the league just by even suiting up on Sunday.
Well, and they lost to Damage on Sunday, who goes on to win the event.
I've heard that since I started playing paintball, and I've never really understood why people take that as a consolation. Like, oh, we got beat, but the team that beat us, they went on and win the event. Man, fuck that. I want them to go to the next round and just get shit stomped. I don't want them to win. Like, if the team beats me, I want them to go home too. Like, I want to see them in the
It
airport and
makes
be
you
like,
feel better. Like we could have been up there if it wasn't for them.
right.
That's
Then
what
you
it
can just
is.
talk. You can talk trash and be like, see, we'd have beat that team. We'd
Yeah,
have
we
beat
would
them.
have beat everyone else. It's just we lost to them. If we had not come up against them, we would have been in the finals too. That's what it is.
Relapse, run.
Exactly.
Then you say how you got fucked by the refs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. We gotta blame the refs, dude.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then tell them,
if all else fails, we'll go after the event promoter.
That's right.
Or
tell
well,
the head
Andy
ref
will.
to shove a flag up his ass.
Hey, Kevin's just promoting good colon health.
I mean, everybody does need to get their prostate checked every once in a while.
Let's see, who else have we not touched on? What about Aftermath?
Surprising, to say
Yeah.
the least. But a couple of those guys, like they've been posting videos. Like some of those guys are playing 3, 4, 5 days a week right now. Like
Hmm.
they've always got a gun in their hand, and everybody said that that's what it was going to take for people to catch fit, was to adapt to the new meta of playing more paintball like consistently. And it seems like that's what everybody's doing. Like the guys that have the ability to play more are playing more.
Yeah. Well, and I think Aftermath is one of the few teams that actually has that ability. Like they're all Southern California dudes for the most part.
Yeah.
I think Stewart's still living somewhere separate, but for
Do
the
they
most
still
part,
have
they're all there.
the player from Lucky 15s with them? Green?
Yeah, Gladstone, right? Was he from Lucky's?
Nah, Gladstone's been on Aftermath for a minute. Grayson, that's a player that played really well for him at this event too. Like he was their rep in the All-Star game, and Grayson's gotten some serious confidence.
It was Greeny. Greeny was on the Lucky Fins, and he is not on the roster right now.
So they might be back to, just like you said, just the Southern California crew.
Yeah, I mean, I think wherever Dever Stewart lives, original Heat guy, but I think he's the only one that's outside of Southern California. And they got Opie from Dynasty coaching them. They brought Opie
Yeah.
over this year.
Which is a great pickup as far as just, field knowledge.
Yeah. Dynasty broke their curse this year, or, well, this event.
They moved up this event. They went from not making Sunday to
Making Sunday.
making, I think they got 8. But again,
Yeah.
that comes like you were talking about those old franchise teams. Like we're at that point where it's not the same dynasty anymore. Like they had some players that produced, and then they had some players that didn't this weekend. Feel like the Weaver's having a difficult time adjusting to that. He's definitely not doing what he was doing on Revo.
Mm-hmm.
He's not closing out low body situations or high body situations for him. I just think this dynasty is going to be that middle of the pack all year. I don't see them, unless we just have a layout that works for them, or they get Greenspan back and they get another pressure point that can float. I don't really see them making any big changes this year. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna stay where they're at.
So I thought with Greenspan still being out, they would let Spica play, but Spica was coaching this event.
Spica wouldn't be my first pick to throw on the field. Like if
Fair
you've got
enough.
a roster that's playing well, like and gelling, he was brought in to be an offensive coordinator. Not saying
Hmm.
that he's not a good player, but I wouldn't try to throw him into a system where he's not he's supposed to be on the clipboard side of things. You keep throwing him in as a player, it just confuses the waters for everybody, and they're not going to listen to him as well. Um, Plus, Alex isn't a coach. He's not playing this season. Ryan's hurt. He's not a coach. He's coaching right now, but they've also got Junior Brown.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got a plethora of coaching experience in there. I think it might be a problem with too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, maybe.
Well, which that's always been a problem for Dynasty and why they have problems with coaches. But now that those guys are starting to age out and they're all the coach,
Yeah.
that's a different level of problem, right?
Yeah, and then you've got the one veteran. You got Yosh is the only old guy left.
What about and we touched a little bit on it, Infamous.
I
Shitty
mean,
event, 3-1.
yeah, like
Kind of tracks for them though.
like they'll play really good, then play really bad, and then play kind of mediocre. Like it's like they get in their own heads, and it's like kind of like Uprising, same thing. Like
Hmm.
this event, we got the old Uprising. You didn't know which one was going to show up.
Yeah, yeah, and they've at least they're consistently making it to Sundays now, but they aren't going far.
Yeah, they're kind of doomed to be that first round team right now. Like Aftermath's in the same spot. Like they've cracked it once or twice, but a lot of these teams get kind of stuck in at that position. But it's just I don't know. I saw some stuff at this event that I thought was really good uh with these teams, and I saw some stuff that was not so great. Like you can really tell there's a definitive skill gap opening up
Hmm.
in the pro division.
Yeah. I feel like last year it wasn't as bad, but we do have a lot of new teams this year.
Yeah. I
So
mean, last year, I think all but like 2 teams made it to Sunday at one point.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty spread out last year. I
Yeah.
think it's it maybe it's the removal of the margin. Like we're seeing more disparity in the scores and the skill gap because
Hmm.
now it's not you're not getting these teams that are get like NYX to pick on them. Like they don't have there's no incentive for them to hide in a bunker and only lose by 3 points. Like you can have a shitty like get 6-0'd and have three really good games and move on. Like that margin is not going to come back to
Right.
haunt you if you go 2-2. So now we're starting to see it open up more. And maybe that's just what's making it seem like it's more of a skill gap is like these teams aren't pumping the brakes at all anymore. They're just like, all right, we're going to play as many points as you'll let us. And
Well, and
there's no margin.
you can't go out there and shoot a case also. So,
True. At certain
in
points, you got to
between
start
limiting
moving.
the paint and encouraging more play time, right? You're going to get faster games and more play. So,
I think they just need to go ahead and put the paint cap all the way through the divisionals and be done with it.
I was about to ask that. How do we feel about the paint cap?
I like it, dude. I think I've seen like one or two players in two events run out of paint. Like
Hmm.
I think it might have been Infamous. I saw a player calling for a pod from one of his front players, and that's the first time I think I've actually caught it at either of these events. So I like the limited paint format. I think it encourages movement. I think the change up in the layout, like getting rid of those big ass bricks and the way they're doing stuff this year, I like the paint format. If they the paint format without the layout change, I don't think it works. I don't think any of this works with like might have actually come up with the perfect storm of ideas for once. They've got faster, more aggressive layouts. They've got the removal of the point margin, so it's encouraging teams to play more points. And they limited the paint format so it's not as pocket heavy on the teams. And it's encouraging movement because you can't just sit there and pump a lane and shut down one whole side of the field. But if they take away any of it, like any one thing, it's all going to crumble.
B, any thoughts?
I'd love to see it in divisional, mainly because, and whenever you're practicing a layout for an event, yeah, you want to throw different shit against the wall, but really you're only shooting 2 cases at practice. Otherwise, it becomes a really expensive day.
Hmm.
You can't fully play that layout like how you would at the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, at practice, I think most of us shoot 4 pods a game. Like, that's what we take out with us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And ideally, I'd like to be able to shoot 6.
Well,
Yeah, I think it would benefit the divisional players just from like what B's talking about. It would give them the ability to practice game formats more realistically. Like for us, I mean, when we were getting ready for that NGXL, when we were practicing like in-game points, and we're like, oh well, everybody has 2 pods and an offer. Well,
yeah.
shit, that means we're playing with like 2 minutes left in the match, and this might be the only point we play. So you play that a lot differently than you do if 3 minutes into the match you only have 2 pods left
Yeah.
versus how much time elapses when you had to burn through all the other shit we used to carry. I think some of one of the little like smaller leagues is gonna have to take the leap of faith and try it and show them that it works before
Yeah.
it's gonna go down. The paint companies will hate it.
Well, I don't think you're going to see that, but you'll see maybe a little drop off, but I don't think you'll see that much because you're turning points more.
Yeah, but you're turning points and I was seeing a lot, even in the pro division. I would say if you go back and watch, you see a lot more players coming off with paint in their packs.
Hmm.
They're not shooting their backs dry anymore. Whereas when it's for whatever reason, when they were carrying 13 pods, they had to shoot all of it.
Yeah.
But now that they've got 5, all of a sudden you're seeing guys close out points. Like Lackey ran down and picked up a 3-pack, and he came off the field with 4 pods on his back in that point.
Hmm.
Like if he'd have had 7 or 8 on his pack, that's my boy. But I know for a fact he would have shot a pod at every fucking bunker he got to hold the lane for a second before he made the move. But with the
Hmm.
limited paint format, it encourages him to just skip all that extra bullshit that the league is like kind of bred into players over the last few years with how they've had things go. And now it's like, oh shit, let me just get back to the 50 and start shooting people on the side.
Hmm. Well, and I think, yeah, what was I going to say? Fuck, I forgot. I had something good too.
Old age.
Old age sucks. That's what it was about. So here's the thing. I think what they've created, it's still first year in, so let's see how it ends the year. But it creates a faster paced game without making it so you have to be a super athlete to compete, though.
Yeah. Gun skills are still definitely important. I think you're going to see a resurgence in like the format of divisional teams. If they were to switch to the limited paint format, you would see a resurgence in teams built like they were when we started. You would
Hmm.
have a couple of older cats that were your back 3 anchor guys, and then you would have a couple of rockets. You'll start seeing more teams built ranging from like mid fees to early fees, and then you'll see like a couple 17, 18-year olds whose dads are probably on the team.
Hmm.
And that's the kid who's got the joints that are still under warranty.
Yeah, ours are well out of warranty.
Man, you are telling me.
Well, I think that covers most of the pros. I want to hear thoughts on the 3-man pro thing.
Who cares?
Okay,
Like
fair enough.
that's my big point with the 3-man. Like they're marketing that for ESPN. I guess the pipe dream right now is to get the 3-man format on ESPN the
Hmm.
way they marketed us. But what was the prize at this one? What damage win? What was the prize money?
I'm not even quite sure, to be honest with you. So
I
I
just
kind
feel
of
like
thought the
if you're
prize was
gonna,
you get to be on TV if you win enough.
the way I understood it, there was like a chunk of change for the winners. But
Ah.
if there's a prize, like I don't know, I just think it's a way to get people an extra day of paintball and a way to get the pros out to play an extra day of paintball and an extra day of paintball that people can watch. Do I think it's relevant to anything that goes on in the pro league? Not necessarily. I don't really care who wins the 3-man. Yeah, if I watch it, it's because I'm at work and I need background noise.
Mm-hmm. B, thoughts?
I mean, my biggest gripe with it is Iconic getting a 3-man pro spot. It's like it's a brand new team, a brand new semi-pro team. Why not approach like the KC All Stars or something? I get they have Thomas Taylor on that team, and that's the reason why they gave them that spot. but give it to somebody who's been grinding in the semi-pro team division for at least a few years.
Well, there's not that many teams left that have the ability to foot the bill for that 3-man that
Right.
have been around for that long. I mean, like,
Right. And maybe that's part of it.
and a lot of it, like, me and I want to say me and Andy were talking about it. It was how they picked the semi-pro and the divisional representation for the 3-man league, and I'm like, it's got to be fan base. Like, you got to pick teams that travel well. You know, like, shut up, we're trying. That's part of the fit camp. They of course got a spot. They travel well. Iconic travels well. They had fans cheering them on during the 3-man that they actually showed. So we can bring up a gripe real quick because I got about 5 more minutes and I'm gonna have to leave you gentlemen for the night. But
All right.
here's a gripe. Why in the fuck are we playing 5-man X ball? But when we go to overtime, we switch to 3-man. But when we don't finish it in 3-man, we go to 1-on-1. Cut
Yeah.
the bullshit. Stop trying to get us to play 3-man and just go straight to 1-on-1s. Send
Yes.
out your best fucking mercenary and let them fight. And not just 1-on-1, best of 5.
Yes.
Got to win three out of 5. That's
I love it.
perfectly acceptable, and it'll still be done quicker than the 3-man point plus the first 1-on.
Yep, I agree with you there. The 3-man, A, it's weird. B, I want to see more 1-on-1s.
Everybody wants to see more 1-on-1s. I think we should have a tiny dual field set up inside the pro field to make them play the 1-on-1 on.
Shit, make it like Warzone and send them to the damn gulag.
Right, dude. Like,
Yes.
it just amazed me that, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, so overtime, 5-on-5, and then they send out 3-on-3, and I'm like, what the hell is this mutant form of paintball? And then that didn't end, and then it's like a 1-on-1. First off, why did Damage not send out Jacob Edwards? Because they were the ones that had the one-on. They lost to the Hurricanes in the 1-on-1. Why would you not send out Jacob?
Yeah,
But
I mean, that dude's the executioner when it comes to 1-on-1s in the pro league.
But I digress. Why are we changing formats mid-match? Like, what's next? Are we gonna, like, randomly show up and they're gonna be like, all right, for today's finals, you're only playing 7-man for the first 10 minutes, and then we're gonna switch to 4-man, whatever the hell that is.
Let's just get a wheel and spin it for a couple different formats for every point we got to go play.
Man,
And on that note, that Damage game should have never gone into overtime because Hurricanes player hits the buzzer dirty. Nowhere in the rulebook does it say a live player or a player checking in at the end of a point is a major penalty. It's defined in the rulebook as a minor penalty. They threw a major, swing point, goes to overtime.
I thought the major was thrown because he eliminated one of the Damage players before he, like, they ruled that he had to hit when he eliminated someone, and that's why they got the major.
Okay, if that's the case, okay. It was never explained, or I didn't hear
Well,
it.
they need to do a better job explaining those penalties. Like, that's something that even Maddie and them have been begging for, is to get a ref that's not scared to get on the microphone and come out and be like, this player received a major for this infraction. So we're not just up there, like, watching replays trying to figure out why somebody got a penalty.
Well, and we had that back in PB Access.
Well, that's
15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was also free.
It was. Well, it was also free, and it also had, like, a dedicated stats crew that recorded like legitimate statistics. No offense to anything, but some of this, I've had several pro players that I've talked to swear up and down that those numbers are not accurate for shit. But it's hard, dude. Like, I'm not, like, clowning on it. Like, it's hard as shit to keep statistics, especially on the game now when you're only doing it with like 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
We did it with a crew of like 8 fucking people, and we still struggled to keep up with everybody. It's like, I tell everybody, just be glad you got somebody kind of watching it. Like, you got an idea of what you're doing every event. And some of his metrics are kind of cool too. Like, I have noticed that some of them are weird, but some of them are nice to see, like the shooting while moving, like gun up off the break, directionals, like everything Pat's doing over there. But paintball player is always going to bitch about something.
Yeah. And he is releasing I guess it's a website that you can access, and you can keep stats on your team now. So
And it's got like a personal kit to it.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. I mean,
it's pretty cool looking. I
if you got
think
somebody
if
that's
it
going to come
catches
to all your
on,
games and do it.
yeah. So and it'll generate your stats for you. So like your stat sheet. So if you're coaching me and B, you can we go to bunkers A and B and C, and you'll be able to tell if we go to C, we win, 65% of the time. If we go to A and B, you win
Oh, God.
90% of the time.
I could see that being an awesome, awesome tool, but I could also see that being like a massive crutch for coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, it could become like the MLB with how analytical based it is now.
Yeah, but paintball is just one of those things that it's even if you break it down into the numbers, there's always so many minute things that can change the outcome of every point. Like it could be something as simple as the corner player getting a broken ball and shooting his own snake guy in the back. There's no metric to measure that because it happens so rarely. But when it does happen, it has such a monumental impact on the game that it's hard to get metrics on all of the stuff like that. So I don't think you could ever break it down quite as far as they do baseball. And because we only get those 5 events each year with, at best, you're only guaranteed 4 matches for each pro player. There's just not a big enough sampling to, I feel like, get the analytic data that Pat's trying to put together. I feel
Hmm.
like you're going to have to we'd have to play way more matches for you to be able to like really plot anything out for these pro players that would
Yeah.
hold up over time.
So we need to bring back 20-minute halves and best of 3 in the playoffs.
I think that that's a fair assessment. I've seen more and more people talking about that they wish they would take like one more bunker off the field, off of each end, and stretch the field a little bit. Like you're starting to see more and more people like push back towards those old school field dimensions that were a little
Hmm.
bit longer, a little bit easier to make the runs, bigger lanes.
Kind of like the 7-man fields.
7 man and old school X ball. You add 40 feet to 20 feet to each end of what we're playing on now, and you're getting real close to those old dimensions.
Yeah. I think the problem is like paintball as a whole on the sports side of it invested so much into X ball, especially after 7 Man died. Like that would cost a lot for a lot of pro, or not a lot of pro, but a lot of field owners to change.
Yeah, but that's also because, Sup Air makes a killing every time we do a field upgrade or a change or
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's why you
Everybody's
get
gonna
the
Or
run.
star bunker instead of their temple, right?
God, the star, but like I love that bunker. It's producing some great footage this year.
It is. I'm eating my words with that one a little bit, but I really just want the fucking X back.
I would still
Yeah,
stand
well,
by that the bunker's going to be useless by the end of the year to field owner because the teams are just going to be fucked. It's like the mini X.
yeah, it's taking a beating, like that's for sure. Like those bunkers are just getting pounded at every event. But it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, like you said, we got 3 more events to go. Um, it'll be interesting to see how well the changes hold up. Like when we revisit this after Cup, when we do our
Hmm.
state of paintball thing after 10 man, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how we're all feeling about it after watching 3 more events of it because the first 2 events, we've had great weather. Like the paintball gods have been super, super kind so far. But when we get to that next event, that bitch is at the end of June.
Hmm.
It's gonna be hot. And this fast format is gonna really test some of these teams that, Infamous is the first one that comes to mind because of their nickname, Skeleton Crew. They
Hmm.
are notorious for showing up to events with 6, 7 guys. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with this new format in the later part of the season. I
Yeah.
think the weather is going to become a much bigger factor this year.
Well, and I think Ohio last year was the hottest event.
Looked miserable. It's comfortable here in the tattoo shop while I was watching it, but it looked miserable.
Hmm.
It's one of those moments where like when you know that if you were at that event on the very first point, 3 out of the 5 of us would have been like, why the fuck are we here? Like, why do we even like paintball anymore? It's hot.
Yeah.
It's like being Fate Nam when it's 95 degrees out.
being at Greenville when it's 90 degrees out and if
Oh.
it's rained in the last 48 hours, Greenville might be the worst piece of turf to play on in the Southeast. And not because it's in bad shape, but that it just the water stays on that red clay so bad that
Yeah, yeah.
you
You
can
just
see it.
you're in
Like
the humidity.
you're taking a long shot and you can see the mirage rising through the humidity play. It's like, oh great, this will be fun today. I saw a
Oh.
couple paint companies that were having issues. I saw a couple guns that were just turning into spray painters out there at the event. Not
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Let's touch on that, and then I'll let you go, Josh.
Yeah.
The 2026 paint wars have officially begun, and they're old school political nasty. What do we think about all that?
B, I'm gonna let you take this one first because I'm a little might be a little different on this one.
Honestly, I haven't really looked into it much.
So I think it's awesome. I
Okay.
love the fact that we now have like legitimate, I don't want to say beef, but like there's back and forth between all these paint companies. And the only way that paintball players are going to get better product is if these assholes are competing and they know that, hey, if my product isn't at least as good as the other one of the two other guys, nobody's going to buy it.
Okay.
You've
That's a
got
fair
what
point.
you got Defy, HK, and GI are the ones slinging shade back and forth and posting and doing all the extra stuff. Good. I would love if I could go to a regional event and get a box of GI 5-star that shoots better than the team colors that I got in practice. I would love if I could buy HK, whatever the hell, the premium grade paint and not watch it bounce off of a beanie.
Hmm.
Like that, this event kind of showed some of the weaknesses in the paint manufacturers. There were a lot of replays I saw this weekend showing bounces off of heads. I saw a couple bounces off of hoppers while I was watching. Like if they're bickering back and forth, good. That means they'll try to give us a better product and we'll stop getting shit paint.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. At the same time, I'm like, we're eating our own. But
But that's
with
that's
that
what we've
being
always done.
said, the paint has sucked like the last, I don't know, 5 years.
Since I came
Mm,
back,
mm.
yeah.
It's just like across the board kind of sucked. And at 5 stars, not 5-star anymore. It's nowhere close to Hellfire. You know,
Chronic.
it doesn't hold a candle to Chronic. And like I feel like the evil paint for a little bit, like when they first brought it back, was legitimate,
Mhm.
and now it's just a white
It
thing
just
with pink fill.
became another thing for them to make money off.
Yeah, like it's not as good anymore. It's just crap.
It's the same thing with a lot of this stuff. Like it's not just the paint, it's the guns, it's the
Hmm.
gear. And since we're all old here, fucking shout out JT for bringing back baggy pants. Did y'all see them? Did
Yes.
anybody
Yes.
else get
Yes. I'm
baggy
so glad to
camo
ask you where
JT
the
pants? My heart was so happy. My heart was so happy to see those. I was like, oh, finally.
Yeah, I
But
think that
yeah,
was the first pair of pant B saw in a while and was like, I want that.
That's
fuck
what I'm
yeah,
like.
dude. It was
I go ahead and buy a pair right now.
it was nice to see something from like our style making a comeback. And before I jump off here, all you little shits that are going to start wearing straight shots because Marcelo had one this weekend, just to let you know, there's going to be some old dude that's going to push you down a hill and take your shit if you start wearing a straight shot.
Insert
Just,
the video from the Toys for Tots like 4
I'll
years
see what I
ago
can
of me
do.
talking shit wearing straight shot.
God, dude, I saw that this weekend and I was like, so many kids are gonna go out and look for these fucking things now, and I'm about to go dig through my toy box and just post a bunch of them for like $30 a pop.
And newsflash, they were like $5 back in the day.
Man, shut the fuck up! You messing up my hustle.
They'll still pay for it.
Well, look,
By demand.
you can't do that to paintballers because when you try to explain things practically, they get pissy. Like when you explain that if you spend $500 on a headband, eventually that market is going to go to shit. And so now you got a bunch of people with those sweet little Hormesis headbands that they paid a lot of money for like 2-3
Hmm.
years ago. Can't sell them for the fucking box they're shipped in.
Nope.
Paintballers as a breed, we're dumb. We follow trends. We buy shiny shit that they tell us we should buy. So that's why I'm glad to see the paint wars, because that means they're busy enough arguing with each other. They're not going to be focused on fucking us.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing with the gun companies too. Like paintballers have got to like wake up and realize that shaving an ounce here and there is not going to make you play any fucking better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to go out and buy the $1,800 CS3 Pro. You can shoot the CS2 Pro that you got for $400 from the BSPs and shoot just as many people.
Yeah,
But it's
but
new
they
and
look
shiny.
so nice.
They do, and especially last hot take before I go. I'm sick
Okay.
of fucking private label because it's not private label anymore.
No, it's fancy milling. It's not true private label.
You got Twister, and how many Twisters do you see on the pro field at every event now?
There's a ton.
And then go to how many did you see in the division? I mean, the divisionals are full of, like, they're not a limited thing. Like Twisters used to be hard to get.
Yeah.
Like the closest thing we've got to like an OG private label at this point, I feel like is probably going to be Dark, because
Yeah.
I do feel like they are sticking to like the limited run
Mm-hmm.
stuff on their guns. Like the CS3 Pros and the DSRs were both kind of small back, but
Yeah.
we just got to stop mass producing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see Mac Dev had guns that weren't spitting paint everywhere. Glad to see somebody else throwing their hat in the ring, because I realized Shocker doesn't even have pro representation this year. It is strictly DLX.
Well, they're pushing the
pro
air.
still. Like we've had like lower level teams
Mm-hmm.
would be the Shocker team. So like I
Yeah,
kind of
true.
expected to see like maybe Collision, because I think they're DLX. I was kind of expecting them to be the Shocker team shooting the Method era or like the
Mhm.
Methods, something like that. But this year it's all the big three. And then you got Mac Dev trying to spoil everybody's fun.
It'll be interesting to see that Mac Dev CK gun.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him doing the old school kind of feel about, we're gonna release everything at Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like new gun at Cup, new hopper, new whatever else they're putting out. All of it's coming out in Florida in October, and that's awesome. I love that. Wish more companies would go back.
I might put some money aside for that.
Well, let's just hope that it doesn't turn out like the DLS. Okay.
Yeah. The most expensive paperweight I've ever bought.
Hey, but at least it didn't break into like 5 pieces when you dope.
No,
That's
I have
true.
one of those too. It hasn't broken yet.
And that's the worst thing. Like, I really wish that die wasn't die, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to go into details on it again, but like, if
Yeah.
it was any other company, I would shoot the absolute shit out of a DSR Plus. Like, that is a smooth gun. It's a great shot, fun to shoot, but it's die.
Yeah.
And they're sponsoring Danville's Arian this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't appreciate how they're acting like they don't know.
No, they knew. They knew before the shit with Marcelo came out.
Yeah.
He had apparently talked to Die before that, so they definitely knew he was kind of a piece of shit. But whatever, money's money. Court fees cost money.
That's true.
Did either one of y'all peep the new Clear Profiler 2.0?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like the plasticky, like rubbery clear, like the what is it, the HK version rip off of the ProFlex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one looks pretty slick, dude. Like I would think about rocking one of those if they could do some slick phase with it, like a black to clear bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Be pretty dope.
They
But
just
that was
need to
I saw
release the
one this
trauma
morning.
cut. Release it in the trauma
Dude.
cut.
I got kicked out of a PSP event for having that on my fucking profiler back in the day, having the cut with the soft ears. When they started bitching about it. They're like, we're not going to allow this anymore. We're not allowing any modified masks. And I'm like, a dude over there is wearing an F8 that's been cut. That doesn't count. It's off the top. Well, gentlemen,
if they
I'm
just
gonna
make
jump
it
off
for us,
here.
then it's not modified anymore.
Oh yeah, but when have they ever like legitimately given us things we wanted?
We got clears.
Yeah,
And
and now
guns.
we don't have any kind of market for them because we have 80,000 fucking color combinations. Andy's was gonna go broke. Like if they hadn't pumped the brakes a little bit, Andy would have been in the poorhouse with all the Proflex bottom.
That's why the taco shop has financing available.
More like that's why the taco shop has financing available. Man, Andy out here hustling tacos to pay for Proplex parts. Well, man, I'm going to jump off of here. You gentlemen enjoy the rest of the conversation, and I will talk to y'all next time.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to leave the phone open so it uploads or whatever you got to
All
do on
right,
your end.
cool. Well, let's just take this out, I guess. Any last words?
I had a few other gripes, but like long day at work. Can't
Fair
remember.
enough. They'll be around next year or next one. Well, with that, let's just take it out. Thank you for watching the Planet Paintball podcast. We'll catch you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball podcast